In the meantime, Democrats less enthusiastic about backing a Republican plan to lose the lame duck session this year. Georgia Republican Congressman Tom Price sponsored that resolution. They essentially shot you down, Congressman, so what do you do now?
Well, what we do is take our message to the American people, and the American people are very concerned, as I know you are, Neil, about the actions of this Democrat Congress between the election and January when the new Congress is sworn in. And that lame duck Congress, the president has said so, the speaker said so, and Harry Reid has said so. We heard Carol Browner over the weekend say, don't worry about not passing these things for the left before the election. We'll do them after the election. And that's what the people are concerned about. I believe they will speak loudly in November.
Well, that might be so, but I mean, it's hardly been just Democrats who try to take advantage of lame duck sessions. You guys, after the 2006 election, and you lost all those seats, were kind of pushing through your own initiatives, yourself included, sir. So I know that's how the Washington game is played. What makes it so different with what Democrats might entertain now?
Well, 2 points. One, in 2006, when we did come back for a lame duck session, we did the kind of custodial things that you do in a lame duck. There was no major piece of legislation that was pushed through during that period of time, no fundamental change in policy for the American people. What makes a difference this time is that this administration and this Congress continue to push things that the American people don't want. Again, today, $26 billion spending bill that you just talked about with Mr. Sherman, that the American people don't want because it puts us deeper in the fiscal hole. American people didn't want health care. This Congress passed it. American people didn't want the stimulus in the way that it was passed. This Congress passed it. So there's no trust between the American people and this Congress. That's why we can't have a lame duck session.
But you see, what's going to happen is it gets into, as you know, sir, he said, she said, he said thing. Right after losing 31 House seats in the 06 elections, you expressed your commitment to accomplishing the GOP agenda at the time. I hope I'm quoting correctly. Staying in as long as we need to get done as much as we can do realistically. If that's a week, fine. If that's 4 weeks, fine. Well, they're just doing the same thing, right?
Well, that's what I said at the time. That's not what we did at the time. The fact of the matter is what we did was really minimal activity in the Congress.
But it wasn't for lack of trying, right? It wasn't for lack of trying. You know, I'm not saying just because you didn't succeed. You know, believe me, I'm casting no aspersions on either party. What I'd like to ask you now is, when I talk to Congressman Van Hollen, who is, you know, Nancy Pelosi's, I guess, #2 on these issues, he said that we will avoid a lame duck session. We will deal with these tax cut issues. Didn't necessarily get into the whole cap and trade thing, sir, but that we would at least look at the whole tax cut extensions, what are extended, what aren't, before that. What do you think of that?
Well, the time just isn't there. Neil, we have 9 legislative days between now and the election. Just 9 legislative days. They haven't even passed a budget. They haven't even passed any appropriations bills through both chambers at all. So what they've set up is a robust lame duck session. I know what Mr. Van Hollen says, but I also know what Carol Browner at the White House said just over the weekend, where she said, don't worry about the cap and trade. Don't worry about the national energy tax. We could quite possibly pass that in a lame duck. It's exactly the kind of language that the Speaker uses. Don't worry about these things, card check, the secret ballot destruction act, and the like. But it's your sense, sir,
I'm sorry to rush you, but it's your sense that they're going to take these issues up in a lame duck. I mean, the defeat of this has set the stage for that.
Well, if that's not a red flag to the American people, I don't know what is. Okay. And again, what this Congress has done is not what the American people want. Whether it's health care, whether it's energy, whether it's spending, whether it's deficit, and none of these things are helping job creation across this country. And that's what the American people want. And we've got to get back on track, decrease the spending, create jobs, and then we will be able to move the economy in the right direction.
Congressman, always a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Neil.